Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into something massive, something that's really changing everything. Artificial intelligence. It's exciting, definitely inspiring, but boy does it bring up some big ethical questions. So our mission today, to kind of cut through that complexity, we're using insights from Sachin Chitra's piece, Ethical AI, Balancing Progress and Societal Stability, plus other key research. Think of it as your fast track to getting up to speed. We'll look at AI's promise, sure, but really dig into the urgent ethical challenges. What are the safeguards? What are the dangers we need to dodge? And crucially, what can we actually do now to make sure AI helps, not harms?
Exactly. And this deep dive, it's really about understanding things like ethical AI committees, who are what they do. We'll look at the real threats AI poses, to society and explore this kind of multi-layered way forward. It's fascinating, actually, how you see technologists, ethicists, policymakers all coming together on this.
Okay, so ethical AI. We hear that term all the time, but putting it into practice. Well, the sources keep pointing to these ethical AI committees. How do these groups actually, make ethics work when the tech moves so fast?
Yeah, that's the key question, isn't it? An ethical AI committee, it's not just some academic panel. It's really a hands-on, multidisciplinary group. You've got tech folks talking data, ethicists debating morals, policy people looking at law, civil society reps making sure the public's considered, all at one table.
Okay.
Their practical job, and the sources really stress this, is to take big ideas like fairness or transparency and turn them into, actual rules and measures engineers can build into the systems. It's where the rubber meets the road, turning principles into design specs.
Got it. So they're basically building the ethical guardrails into the system itself. Can you give us some examples? Who are these groups? Because it sounds like a pretty huge job.
Oh, it absolutely is. Take the European Commission's high-level expert group on AI, the HLA-AI. They didn't just talk, they hammered out detailed guidelines for trustworthy AI. Really specific stuff on human oversight, robustness, privacy, making sure it's not discriminatory is a very practical approach.
Right.
Then you've got the Partnership on AI, PAI. That's global tech companies, academics, NGOs working on best practices, almost like industry standards for ethics. And places like the AI Now Institute, they dig deep into the social side, often, pushing back against power imbalances, demanding more accountability. And internationally, you see efforts like the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence, GPAI, and the Montreal Declaration for Responsible AI, trying to get everyone on the same page, fostering ethical development across borders. The bigger picture here really is that these committees are giving direct advice to governments on how to regulate AI before things go wrong. Their input is vital for policies that protect people, thinking ahead about job losses, corporate power, social disruption.
That really highlights the stakes. So if these committees are drawing the blueprints, what are the big structural problems they're trying to prevent? The sources are pretty blunt about the risks, aren't they?
They are, and this brings us straight to the major threats AI poses if we don't manage it carefully. The source pinpoints 4 really critical areas.
Okay, let's tackle the first one. Mass job displacements without safeguards. It feels very immediate for a lot of folks. AI automation is everywhere, from factories to customer service.
Right. And what the sources really emphasize is that it's not just about losing a job, it's the speed and scale of change. The nature of work itself is shifting so fast that our usual safety nets just aren't enough.
Yeah.
The scary part highlighted is the lack of, guaranteed replacement jobs or clear paths for people whose jobs disappear. Without real intervention, and this is where ethical guidance is critical, you're looking at potential mass unemployment, widening inequality, and frankly, social unrest. It's not just efficiency, it's a potential social shockwave.
And it goes beyond just jobs, right, to the kind of work left. Which brings us to corporate insensitivity to human needs.
Precisely. Companies are chasing efficiency, cutting costs, and in that race, sometimes the human element gets lost. AI systems might be designed in ways that ignore our need for meaningful, engaging work. This could lead to this widespread feeling of purposelessness, people feeling alienated even if they have a job. Imagine skilled work just becoming watching a screen. The sources suggest this isn't just about being efficient, it touches on basic human dignity at work.
That phrase, aristocracy of tech giants, really sticks with you. This third point, imbalance of power and social divide, feels less like sci-fi these days.
It's a serious worry. AI concentrates power economic power, information power, maybe even social control into fewer and fewer hands. We're
Yeah.
talking huge corporations.
Right.
It's not just about money. It's about who controls the algorithms that increasingly run parts of our lives, from loan applications to news feeds. If that power isn't checked, you breed resentment, you deepen social divisions. And the sources warn, yeah, it could potentially lead to unrest if people feel locked out by systems they don't understand or trust. It's a fight for democratic control, really.
And the last one is maybe more subtle. Complacency and over-reliance on AI. We all like things easy, but is there a hidden cost?
This is maybe the sneakiest danger. AI is so efficient, so helpful that we might just get lazy, collectively lazy. Our own creativity, our critical thinking, our problem-solving skills could start to fade because we just let the AI handle it.
I can see that.
And relying too heavily makes us vulnerable. What happens if these complex systems fail or get hacked or misused? Imagine critical infrastructure power grids, transport failing because the human operators have lost the skills or even the instinct to step in. The sources really hammer this point. It's about our basic resilience as a society.
Okay, that's a sobering list of potential problems. But thankfully, the sources don't just leave us there. They map out a path forward, right? Concrete solutions. What kind of big, coordinated effort is needed?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just one group's job. The article stresses this multi-level approach. You need governments, corporations, even the startup scene, incubators, accelerators, all playing part. So at the government and regulatory level, it's about building a safety net and setting clear rules. Think policies like universal basic income, UBI. Not just theory, but potentially a practical way to cushion the blow for people displaced by AI.
Okay, UBI. What else?
Governments absolutely need to enforce ethical AI standards. The EU's AI Act is a prime example, and it's smart, you know. It doesn't treat all AI the same. It classifies systems by risk level.
Ah, right. High risk, low risk.
Exactly. Minimal risk, limited, high, unacceptable. And those high-risk ones. Things like biometric ID in public spaces. They face super strict rules, mandatory human oversight, intense scrutiny. Then there's massive investment needed in reskilling programs, helping people pivot to jobs AI can't do easily. And, crucially, independent oversight bodies. You need watchdogs monitoring AI development and making sure rules are followed without political interference.
That sounds robust on the government side. What about the companies actually creating the AI?
Huge responsibility there. At the corporate level, they really must embrace human-centric design. That means building AI to help people augment their skills, not just replace them wholesale. Think collaboration, not substitution. Transparency is non-negotiable. Companies have got to be open about how their AI makes decisions, especially impactful ones. That builds trust. Committing to ethical charters, like the ones PAI promotes, it can't just be lip service. It needs to be baked into the company culture, the whole development process. And, maybe most importantly, having clear, humane plans for workers affected by automation. That's just basic responsibility.
Okay, governments set rules, companies build responsibly. Where do the brand new ideas, the startups, fit in?
That's the incubator and accelerator level. They're shaping the next wave of AI. So they have a real duty to screen startups for ethical risks from day one. Maybe even say no to ideas that could destabilize things.
So like ethical gatekeepers for new tech.
Sort of, yeah. And they should actively promote AI for social good, tackling climate change, improving healthcare access, education, not just the next big consumer app. And finally, they need to connect startups with governments, with NGOs, to make sure these innovations actually meet real societal needs and have ethics built in from the start.
This is incredibly useful, and this is where it gets really hands-on for you listening. Our sources pull together this fantastic checklist. If you're involved in AI, building it, deploying it, even just deciding whether to use it, this is like your ethical litmus test. Ask yourself, does your project pass muster? It's a great way to gut check if you're on the right track.
Exactly. It's a practical tool. Let's quickly run through the key questions you should be asking. First off, does the AI truly put human well-being ahead of just making things faster or cheaper? Foundational. First off, are there actual concrete plans for people whose jobs might be impacted? Retraining. New roles. First off, is the AI transparent? Can people understand how it reaches its decisions? Is there accountability? First off. Is it designed to avoid bias? Does it actively work against making social divides worse? And how do you check that, first off? Is the core purpose to help humans do things better or just to replace them? Augmentation versus automation. First off, does it follow established ethical guidelines, like the EU AI Act framework or PAI principles? And crucially, is there a plan for ongoing monitoring? Are you watching its real-world impact, not just if the code works?
These are just boxes to tick, are there? They're fundamental principles for doing this right. So wrapping this up, our deep dive makes it pretty clear. The ethical hurdles with AI are massive, yes, but the sources are optimistic. They're not impossible to overcome.
Indeed, but it needs action, now. And collective action. Governments, companies, innovators, everyone needs to pull together to make sure AI is a force for good. These committees, strong policies, practical checklists, they're the tools we need to build that stable, fair AI future.
It really is a call to action, isn't it? For policymakers, for tech leaders, but also for all of us who will live alongside this technology. How AI develops really hinges on this ongoing conversation and our shared commitment to ethics.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given how fast AI is moving, what's the one ethical safeguard you think we absolutely need to prioritize right now to ensure it benefits everyone? Something to chew on.
We covered a lot of ground today, from the groups like the HLEG AI and Partnership on AI acting as guardians, to the tough challenges like job displacement and power shifts, and those multi-level solutions like UBI and the EU's Risk-Based AI Act. If you want to go even deeper, the sources pointed to some great reads too, like Kathy O'Neill's Weapons of Math Destruction or Kai-Fu Lee's AI Superpowers. Definitely worth checking out. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning.